Oh, I'm not too bad, yeah. Just it's been a bit of a hectic day, to be honest with you. A lot of people trying to track me down. There was one guy, I was supposed to have a meeting with him this afternoon, but I wasn't 100% sure if he was trying to sell me something.
Right.
You know, like he's trying to sell me like a mentorship thing. And I'm like, mate, I don't really need a mentorship thing. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I think I know what I'm doing now. So how about yourself?
Yeah, it's been hectic. Yeah, it's there's always something on the plate to deal with.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were doing the meeting at 4:30 or 5 o'clock. I couldn't remember.
I think it was originally 5, but I'm happy for it to be 4:30. So,
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I think, but like I said, I accidentally deleted the invite, and then
Yeah.
so I'm glad you resent the link.
No, that's all good. I'll whiz through this relatively quickly. So like I'll do a screen share and show you a couple of things, and then that way, you know, you get a better idea of how it all sort of fits together.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. I'll get. What I'll do is I'll pick an agent as an example person, and
Yeah.
then I can sort of show you the back and forths and stuff. Just hang on a second. So I'll just do a screen share with you now, and then hopefully we should be all good. So we've got got this thing also making notes for us as well. So I at the end, hopefully I can send you the link to that, and you can go over the notes and double check anything in case I've missed anything.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the CRM system that we use. So this is I don't know what it's called. It's like a generic one that's been built. People always ask me what is it, you know, and I'm like, I don't know. But what happens is the leads come in, and when they first come in, it's always the status is always a hot lead, and the basic information in there is you've got the name of the client, what the client's looking to buy, what the budget is within that, when the lead came in, what the location is, which project it is, and then you might have some other notes then that have come directly from, you know, domain or realestate.com or something like that. It's issued to an agent, and then there'll be another version of this issued to the finance broker. And what they do is they tag the finance broker's name into the lead,
Yeah.
unless the person doesn't need finance, and then we won't bother duplicating it for them. We'll just say, look, you know, they've already got finance, so they don't need anybody at the moment. And then if we find out down the track they do need finance, then then we'll send it on to a finance broker after that. So we've got the projects. Now the projects are all handled by the admin team more than anybody else, and they're all over the country, and they're all these different developers and builders and stuff. And the leads basically come from us advertising their stock on multiple platforms. And we've got the knowledge bases where we've got written training and we've got video training. And it's more geared up for salespeople than it is for finance people, but there's something that it can be taken from either side, basically. So, you know, it might prove useful. And then we've got the listing website. So this is an example of a listing. We've got about 4,000 sitting on this website at the moment, and what we do is we give each agent at least 10 listings in their name to start off with, so they can promote themselves on social media and all that kind of thing. We've got a standard contact website where just everybody's contact information's in there, and that's for the finance brokers and the agents to be able to find each other and look each other up and network with each other. And then we've got the finance website where we put backlinks into other finance brokers' websites and all that sort of stuff, so that people can find them and improve the Google search and everything else. So the idea is that the two sides of people, the buyers agents, the agents network with the finance brokers and the mortgage brokers basically, and they try and refer each other a bit of business on top of what we give them as well, you know. And then we're also providing the We're also providing a database and stuff like that for certain people. Like if somebody's fairly new into the industry, we'll build them a database based on where they are. Another process that we're introducing as well is the qualifying caller. So there'll be somebody that does the qualifying calls basically as the calls come in. They'll go through, ask some questions, then they'll email out the preferred suppliers. So we'll put in that email. This is a local solicitor. Here's a link to the finance broker. Here's the link to an insurance company and solicitors and so on and so on. So by the time we finish, we've sort of recommended all the local people that we think are good. And we've offered a bit more of an end-to-end service, and we've also qualified the lead a little bit better as well for the agent and for the finance broker.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's about it really. I mean, I've tried to whiz through that a bit quick, but have you got any questions on any of that, John?
So essentially, what it's us being on there to essentially promote these developer products that you use. So you've got the relationships with the developers.
Yeah.
We're on there to promote those developer products into our marketplace, but we're doing it through that medium.
Yes.
And, you know, so I'm assuming then there's a commission deal that we're paid on each of those sales that we generate.
Yeah. So if it's an agent and they sell something off the plan, we do a 50-50 on the first deal. If they're consistently selling stuff every month, we do a 70-30 split back to the agent. Okay. If it's a finance broker, the finance broker keeps all the money from the finance deal because we want to incentivize them to, you know, work as hard as possible because they help qualify the deal, basically. So it boils down to what the person does. The buyer's agent aspect is where the lead comes in and they change their mind. They say, look, I don't want to buy a house and land package anymore. I don't want to wait for it to be built. I would like to buy something that's pre-existing, and maybe can you find me something that's off market that I can't find myself? So then we introduce the buyer's agent then to act and, you know, do their normal job and offer their normal service basically.
So you've got a bunch of buyer's agents you're also linked up to.
Yeah, and we're steadily building that up. As we didn't have the demand for it about 18 months ago, but now there is the demand there for that service.
And so the coming back to the what is I suppose I'm thinking of logistics here. So essentially these projects are getting developed all over Australia, is that right?
Yeah. So they're everywhere.
And the commission amounts that are being shared is how much?
Well, they vary from one development to another. So average is probably about 40 grand at the moment. 44 with a GST.
So how does that stack up on valves?
Well, they're normally fine with the valuation and everything else because it's all predetermined. So the majority of everything we're selling is fixed price, full turnkey. And of course, there's a shortage in the area, so the value of everything's all gone up. So all the valuations stack up. So, you know, you'll have like a commission of, let's say, 38,500 plus the GST on top of that, or 40,000 plus the GST on top of that. And if it's a single contract project like townhouses or apartments, the commission can be beyond 5% commission. It might be as much as 8% commission.
Well, but I suppose that's where I'm kind of questioning the valves, because that commission amount has to get added into the whole equation. It's the purchase price that the buyer pays.
Yeah, that's right.
The buyer still wants to make money. So I'm assuming there must be, you know, whilst we're in this market, sure, the valves are probably stacking up in WA in particular. Probably
definitely,
In New South Wales and Victoria, I would imagine the market's slightly softer right now, or if not, a little bit in the reverse of what we're seeing here in WA.
Yeah, it won't be in the same league as WA at the moment because WA is sought after.
Yeah, so in that case, the vowels there, I would imagine, must get a little more challenging.
I think they can be, yeah. We haven't had any issues recently. We might have had it.
How long have you sort of been providing this platform for the developers?
About 5 years altogether.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So essentially, then it's like I might give you a list of names of my team
Mm-hmm.
that you would then pop on some projects.
Yeah.
And then how does that work in terms of, like, I'm assuming there must be, if you develop a whole bunch of clients in an area and a region,
Yeah.
and you've got more agents than you've got product, I'm assuming at some point you start to drop people off of listings.
Well, there is, like, what I tend to do is I'll sign up more developers to meet the demands of the agents that I've got and the finance brokers. So we'll do more.
Yeah.
We'll sign more and more up as we go along, and then advertise more and more stock. So I try and keep it to a certain level so everybody's got enough to work on, if you know what I mean, and they've got enough leads coming in. So I react to what the demand is of the people at the time. So, like, if you
do we pay to be on the service?
The only thing that people pay for is the admin fee, which is the bare minimum, which is like $250 a month.
Yeah.
And that's it. So.
And that's across the whole agency or per rep?
Well, it depends on, if it was going to be multiple people, then we do a discount. If it's per person.
It's per rep, but multiple people, it might be at 200 per head or something.
Yeah, like something like that. We do a special discount if it's going to be multiple people, because I'm trying to make sure by the end of the year I've got, say, 150 finance brokers and 150 agents / buyers agents, and I'm advertising 10,000 properties a month every month. So I sort of gradually building it up and not going too mad. But I know once we're at the sort of 10,000 mark, that 300 people altogether, they'll have enough leads in total for each person to keep them satisfied. And we've got enough revenue coming in to increase the marketing and the advertising to service people at a higher level, basically. Yeah. So that's the plan.
Obviously, like, a fair chunk of this is the investor market, right? Like, we're selling.
Yeah, investors. Yeah. So you've got, I'd probably say at the moment it's a 60-40 split. So 60% are investors, 40% are first-time buyers. Yeah. And then the other side of the coin that we're also trying to look into is self-managed super funds to buy investment properties as well. Yeah. So we've got the database, we're up to about 95,000 people on the database. We're going to go back through that database and try and find people that are interested in using a self-managed super fund to buy an investment property. But then we've got to make sure we've got the single contract stock, or we have to use a middleman company to change a 2-stage contract into a single stage contract for them.
Yeah.
So that's another project as well that we're trying to get off the ground. But I have to train, I'll have to train the agents up and everything else. And I might have to outsource some of it overseas for the calls and everything.
Yeah. So with the, so you're also driving traffic to your site of buyers as well?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, I haven't really pushed it, to be honest. It's more sort of to help prop up.
So it's more the leveraging off, like, for instance, you'd be leveraging off of my reps database more so. Like, in other words, if they've met a buyer, that's looking for something to buy off the plan, that they're happy to buy off the plan, etc. Then they introduce that buyer. That's where they get paid the commission. So it's not so much that, like, the leads that come through, probably a smallest part of it. Yeah.
The leads that come through, we try and make sure that each person has a minimum of 25 qualified leads a month that they get.
But when you say qualified leads, you're talking about buyer's agent leads, or because I mean obviously, or leads to buy those properties on the site.
Normally, it's leads to buy the properties on the site, but after we've had the conversation with them, we're trying to determine if is that the definite thing they want to do, or do they want to buy an existing one instead? What is it they actually want to do? The other thing is as well, it also.
So you guys are doing that qualification piece, are you?
Yeah, we're trying to do that at the moment. That's what we're working on. By the end of July, hopefully we've got that all up and running properly.
And then you decide, okay, you know, like if it's clear that they're happy with what's on the site, you don't get into that conversation. But if they're but if let's say the agent, so you're creating a two-way channel where the agent says to you, look, these people want something established, they feed it back to you, slot it into the buyer's agent area.
That's right, yeah. And then it's also like establishing, you know, do they definitely need finance? Have they got a finance broker? Like, also what comes up as well, we get people that want to downsize, that want to sell their current property. So now that turns into a normal residential sales lead. And then I'll you know,
we'll handle the story with, let's say we have that conversation with someone who's interested in one of these off the plan places, and then we generate that opportunity. What's the story with that in terms of commission arrangement?
I think if it becomes a buyer's agent lead at the moment as it stands, we're not taking any of that commission because that isn't our main business.
If it becomes a seller's agent lead.
If it becomes a seller's agent lead, then to be honest, that isn't my core business, so I'd probably just do a 90-10 split back to the agents. Because they're going to do the majority of the work. We're not really going to get that involved with any of that, are we? Let's face it, you know. We could provide a trust account and a Form 6 and some other advertising stuff if needs be, but if it's an independent agent and they've got all the bells and whistles themselves, then if they pay us a 10% referral fee, thank you very much for the listing. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Bless you.
How do we, how do you track that?
Well, if the call's being qualified and it turns into a residential sale, then we do a back and forth.
Assign it to the rep.
Yeah, we assign it to the rep, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
But in our case, you'd assign it to a central point and we then allocate it out to our team because we'd want to track it.
Yeah, so that'd be up to your discretion then, who you'd want to give that to in whichever area it was and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So what's the value for you then of placing one of our team on the leads, on the listings?
Well, do you mean as in the stuff off the plan, or?
Yeah. Like I'm assuming that's where, like that's what's the hook to get people looking at that site, and that's where the volume of business is going to come.
It's serviceability. It's where, you know, you've got everybody's a contractor. They work flexible hours. They work from home, and we want people there that are good salespeople that we haven't really got to micromanage, basically.
Yeah.
So the benefit to us is we've got somebody
who those commissions, so those leads get processed by someone who's got the time to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, it's just going to go to waste. Basically, we're gonna. Well, I'm sort of trying to get ahead of the curve because I know we're going to be up to a certain volume, and if we haven't got the people to look after it, it's just going to go to waste one way or another.
So you're looking at, so at the moment it's a ramping up of that. How many projects are you selling in WA at the moment?
I think there's 7 to 10 different projects that we're working on in WA, and there are a big range of stuff.
Get an idea of what those projects are?
Yeah. What I would do is each project that we work on, the VAs do white label information. So we do like a white label brochure, floor plans, all that stuff. And we do them as people are asking for them. They get them back in real time. So they get them back within 20 minutes normally.
I mean, what I'm thinking is I'd love to just do a quick assessment on them just to see where they sit within values and all the rest.
Yeah.
Obviously, what we've got to, we've just got to also manage our reputation here. So we just want to know, what we're, and just go in eyes open, really.
Well,
what I'm going to be selling.
Yeah, what I would probably do then, I'll go back to each one in WA, get an up-to-date stock list on each one, get an example brochure put together on each one, and then send that to you so you can see what it is.
Yeah, I mean, look, even if, obviously I don't want you to go too much trouble, but even if you just send me a couple that I can just do an assessment on.
No, I don't mind doing them, because what we're doing is we're putting them onto the system anyway. So they're all being put on there on the system. So instead of asking the VA, can you find me this, or where's this, or whatever, it's just sitting on the CRM system, so the person can just copy paste the link. So we're working through them at the moment anyway. Like we've done the majority of Queensland stuff, and I think we're moving on to Victoria and New South Wales at the moment. But I'm happy to get the WA stuff sorted. That's not a big deal.
If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to assess that, and then once I've done that, I can kind of give you a bit better feel of what our whether or not I can find someone on my team to fit in.
Yeah.
Guys, sorry, just hang on 2 secs.
No, you're right, mate. Take your time. You're all good.
All right.